fast forward, but you might miss some peaks of new products and other bits of information. And if you are here live, then please say hello. Let me know where you're joining me from, and if you can see and hear me clearly. I'm always worried that I've gone live in the wrong place, or you can't see me, or you can't hear me. I'm just talking to myself. So let's see. Oh no. Hello, Jackie. She's chatting on her iPad, but she's watching me on her telly. I'm on your telly, Jackie. That's very cool. That's kind of slightly concerning. It's also very cool. How are you today? And here as well, cloudy in Suffolk. Yeah, I put a post on Facebook. My brother's in Manchester, and he sent a picture of like a really grey, gloomy day up there. And I sent him a picture of my lovely palm tree. You know, I hate that palm tree. Anyway, in the garden with brilliant blue sky. It was glorious first thing this morning. It's grey and miserable and windy again here now. Serves me right for gloating. We had good weather. Oh dear. Hi, Karen. So I've got my coffee. I've got to work late tonight, so coffee in the afternoon is okay. Right, so lots and lots of things to talk to you about. There's always a list, isn't there? Good afternoon, Michelle, and good afternoon, Karen. Oh no, I've said hello to Karen. Helen. Hello, Helen. I've got a couple of cards to share with you today. The first one is from Margaret, and this is a thank you card, which is really lovely. Such a beautiful card. And then this one is also from Margaret. Now this was a birthday, well, still is a birthday card, but Margaret sent it to me, and it was on my window ledge. And it obviously, when I cleared the cards off to show you last time, now bear in mind, my birthday was the end of May. I don't want you to pass judgment on my dusting because this is tucked behind something and I didn't see it until the weekend. So, but isn't this lovely? So this is a style of card called a bay window card. Did we decide it was called? It's like that, and then this bit kind of pulls out and folds flat, but it's really beautiful. So I'm really sorry, Margaret. I've got two cards of yours at the same time, but this one was tucked away. So there you go. So that's lovely. So thank you very much for those. Oh, all of a sudden, all of the comments have just gone. So who is here? Donna's here. Margaret, I've just been talking about your cards. Anita's here. Germany's in the house. Jackie. Oh, brilliant. So Jackie's been struggling, and her arm has it's been really interfering with your crafting, Jackie, hasn't it? But she's having some intensive physio. So, and it seems to be helping. Anne wants to know what dusting is. Yeah. It's cold and wet in Perth, Western Australia. I was looking at the floods in Sydney again today. The news is pretty rubbish. You guys are having such awful weather. Maureen, hello. Hi, Mum. Apparently it's very chilly in Sutton-on-Sea today. It's a bit miserable. He's still getting out, go and see the sea later. Good morning, Deborah. Calgary, Alberta is in the house. I'm so pleased you are all here today. So, few things that you need to know. There will be no live next week. There will be launching at 2 o'clock a new video for you. So you don't want to miss your 2 o'clock spot. So there will be something here, both on Facebook and my blog and YouTube at 2 o'clock. So do check it out then. Brian and I are off adventuring over the next 2 or 3 weeks, to be honest. So we're sort of coming and going. So you may get my out of office if you email me. And obviously, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes when we're out and about, I can answer emails, and sometimes I can't. Depends where we are. So it's always best. I say this a lot. Always best to email me. Sending me messages on like WhatsApp or Messenger, Facebook Messenger, that kind of stuff. They can just disappear. I don't know what the companies do with them, but sometimes I get messages that are like 3 months old that I've never seen. So, you know, it's all a bit weird. So email is always the best way to get hold of me. So yes, so that will be next Tuesday. So the next live will be 19th. I had to do the maths then. 14 days added to 5. 19. Apparently it's chilly in Cheltenham. Helen's saying, and good afternoon, Deborah. So my gauge of how chilly it is do I have socks on? And I don't have socks on, so it's clearly not that chilly here. Now, I hate socks anyway, so I don't wear socks very often at all, to be fair. Right. I've got to sort out my catalogues. So I've told you about not being here. Right. So the next thing I need to tell you about is tomorrow we've got 2 new kits launching, which is very exciting. So I've done a little PowerPoint. Now, for those of my team members that are here, I was very excited. I made 2 PowerPoints this morning before 9 o'clock. That was very cool. I'm not very good at PowerPoints or Excel spreadsheets, has to be said. I would rather not use an Excel spreadsheet unless I have to. But yeah, so I have put together a little bit of information. So let me see if I can add it and make the technology work. Yeah, this is so exciting. But that's the wrong picture. Darn it. So here is the world according to Amanda. Last time I did this, I called the slides new kits. And that's why there was a picture of the robot kit. Today's PowerPoint is also called new kits. Ta-da! But that's the right one. Oh, God. It's a good job you guys love me. Isn't it? Really? There's not a lot of professionalism going on here. This is not the BBC, is it? This is the world according to Amanda. Okay. So, 2 new kits. The first one is called, I don't know. I think it's called Under the Weather. So this is the stamp set. So it's all about people not being very well. So you've got this very cute little skunk there and some nice sentiments. That is everything that comes in the kit. You make 9 cards. 3 each, different designs, and you can see on the left hand side you've got the 3 little critters. So you've got it'll show better on the next slide, but you've got a skunk and a mouse and a little bird. And let me, yeah, you can see that better. So you've got the little bird there with an ice pack on its head, and the mouse with some ice cream. I can't even see what the skunk's got. Flowers, I think. But it's very cute, and it launches tomorrow. And then there is another set which is much more useful to me because of this stamp set. I love that. The Seriously Grateful for You and A Million Thanks. So the kit is called A Million Thanks. So that's a stamp set. That's the cards and envelopes and all of the punchy out pieces. And those are the cards. So again, it's 9 cards. Really, really cute. So let's just remove that. So you get me back again. So let's remove that as well. Okay, so they are really cute. And to be honest, the Get Well Soon cards, they're the sort of cards that you always need in a hurry. And you've often not got any. So yeah, so I think that is a really cool kit. And like I said, the Million Thanks will be one for me because I love those thank you sentiments. Jenny's here. Hello. Jenny's asking me if I've got a cat. No, Brian is not a cat person. I grew up in a house with a cat and a dog, and would have had both. It took me a while to convince Brian to have a dog, but no, he's not a fan of cats. So there will be no cats in this house. There will be another dog at some point, but our life is a little crazy at the moment, and we just haven't got the time to bring a puppy into our world right now. We do too much traveling and too much dashing about the place, and we need to be able to train a puppy. So yeah, so not yet, but hopefully soon. Helen heard a meow. And Jenny heard a meow. That's just weird. There's no cat here. That's weird. That is very weird. Jenny's asking if I'd have another Border Terrier. Honestly, I don't know, Jenny. It's always difficult. Our first dog was a Border Terrier Jack Russell Cross, and we had her for 17, 18 years. And then she was called Scarlet, and we had Kiva for nearly 15, 16 years. And she was a pure Border Terrier. I would imagine we will have another terrier, but which one, I don't know. It's kind of up for discussion at the moment. I have a few ideas and plans, but it's a 2-person decision, so we'll see. But we love terriers. That's just so weird. Donna heard a meow as well. Honestly, no cats here. Okay, maybe it was me slurping my coffee. I don't know. Okay, so I have a question for you, since we're talking about trips and things, or I was talking about trips and things earlier. Are you a pack the night before person, or are you a pack in the weeks leading up to your trip? So this is something really interesting, really interesting to me. So I'm talking about like a trip for a week. I'm not talking about, you know, going to a friend's and staying over. I'm talking about, you know, being, yeah, any kind of length of trip. And the reason that I'm interested is because pre-COVID, Brian and I traveled a lot. And you know, we loved it. And obviously we've started going places a little bit more now. And you know, we went to my mother-in-law's last week, 2 weeks, I don't know when it was, 2 weeks ago. I forgot my shampoo. How is that even possible? I have a wash bag with everything in it that I take traveling, but obviously at some point I've taken out the shampoo. But what's more bizarre is the fact that I didn't even check it before I put it in my bag. So I'm clearly completely out of sync. So let's see. Let's see how everyone is, and then I'll explain how it works in our house, because it's quite entertaining. Jenny's saying, do I squeak when I slurp? No, honestly, I am. So that is just so bizarre that you heard a meow. So Carol packs leading up to the trip, Deborah 2 hours before, Valerie the night before, Jenny's doing it now for surgery on the 18th. So yeah, so that's like 2 weeks before. Margaret's a long-term packer. Deborah says her husband drives her mad at least a week before. So is that, Deborah, because he packs a week before and you pack the night before? Is that why it makes you crazy? Oh, blimey, Jenny. I hope that your surgery goes well. She's going to be in there for at least 10, 14 days. Helen saying the weeks leading up to it, but her hubby is a throw random things in the bag the morning of. Ross does it a few days before, so she knows she has everything. Anne says the night before, but have piles of stuff all over the place for a week. Deborah's saying she's not a last-minute packer, but would love the luxury of a separate room to put everything out so that she can second-guess myself. Carol has lists. Marion starts packing and organising a week before. Karen. Karen's girl from following my own heart, she is. Weeks and weeks, don't like to forget anything. Jackie's several days before. Kathy Jean, hello. Alberta, Canada is in the house. So this is how it works in our house. I have lists. I have so many lists. And I have lists that I have from one trip to the next. So I kind of have a hot weather list, a clothing list and kit list and stuff. And then I have a colder one. I like to know that I have enough daytime and evening outfits for the whole time we're away and a few spare. So my stuff, my suitcase has been on the spare bed for 2 weeks. And as I'm gathering stuff, as stuff goes through the wash and, you know, I'm thinking, right, I'm taking that with me. So it goes in the suitcase. So everything just gets piled up in the suitcase as I'm going, but I tick it off my list, make sure that I've got everything that I need. And I gather things for like my, traveling bag, and I've got my water bottle, and and I've got my, I don't know, my insulated mug that I like to take with me when we're traveling, and all those things, and my chargers, and I just keep gathering, and everything just gets put on into the suitcase. But then the day before, I get everything out, pack it properly, double check that I haven't missed anything. So that's how I operate. Brian, his suitcase is empty and will be empty till the day before. And then he will just go through his wardrobe and his chest of drawers and everything else like a locust. And he will pull out everything he needs, put it all in the suitcase, and it'll be done in an hour. But there's none of this. Amanda says, well, I've got my blue star top, and that goes with my blue trousers, and I'm going to wear my white wedges. That's the level of detail I need to go to make sure I've got things. Because has this ever happened to you? You get to like day 5 and you've got nothing to wear because nothing goes together. I appreciate that I am a little strange and very, very minutely organized. But that's just me. That's just the way I am. So, yeah. So I am pleased that some of you pack as far away as we do. So Valerie says she has a go bag that always has overnight smalls, travel size toiletries ready to go for an emergency or a spur of the moment trips. Yeah, exactly. So Valerie, I too have a bag like that. It's been quite useful recently, certainly in the last year or so, that it's got a full change of clothes, nightshirt, clean underwear, and my wash bag. So yeah, so I have that kind of go bag as well. But this is kind of for a big trip. Oh, Deborah's saying hubby spends ages packing. But because she used to travel a lot with work, basics are permanently packed for her, including underwear. I think we're going to go down the underwear route, people. Helen's it's Helen, you're going to make me howl. Helen wants to know if anyone else packs a crazy amount of pants. Now, Helen, I'm guessing you mean underwear, pants, or so in the UK we call them knickers, pants, or underpants. The rest of the world, Valerie obviously called them smalls. I don't know what else you call them around the world. That would be interesting. I don't know what you call them. Yeah, Helen's talking about what I call knickers. I don't know. Why is it funny? Why is talking about underwear funny? But anyway, she wants to know if people pack a crazy amount of pants or knickers, because she never needs more than one pair a day, but her brain, when she's packing, thinks that she needs 3 pairs a day. Yeah, I do take a few extra pairs, but perhaps not 3 pairs a day. I don't think I've got that many, Helen, to be honest. Carol saying it's easier for men. I just think my husband is just so much more organized than me. And he's very visual as well. So he can look at all his shirts and his trousers and, and it just works. It's just amazing. It is really interesting to watch him pack. Undies. So in Oz, it's undies. You see, that's interesting. So Laura's saying the men in her house wear pants, but the women in her house wear knickers. You see, but when I'm talking to my nephews in Manchester and they're talking about their pants, they're actually talking about trousers, which is just really confusing. Carol takes extra pants as well, underpants. I love that we just, so maybe I'm going to have to put a warning on this video on the replay. Please note, we're discussing pants. Okay, so thank you for making me chuckle today. Yeah, so my suitcase is currently overflowing. I have a bigger suitcase than Brian as well. Yeah, but that's just the way it is, and I am convinced it's because of the shoes. Not that I have many pairs of shoes, but I have like going out shoes and then sandals to wear during the day and then trainers and, you know, all the things. All the things. Okay, so shall we talk about some crafting now? Now we've kind of, you know, gone down the rabbit hole. Let me slurp my coffee. I've got a few things to show you from the new catalogue that you may or may not have seen, but that are super cool. And yeah, I needed to highlight them. And then I've got something to show you from the annual catalogue that could be Christmas, but I'm not using it in a Christmas way. So there you go. But it could be Christmas if you wanted it to be Christmas. But I promise not to go full on Christmas until August. And I've got a few weeks left. Okay, so what I will do though is I am going to tell you, I'm going to share with you that my hands look like I've been mauled. And I have actually been mauled by the gooseberry bushes. So the ongoing saga of our garden, our vegetable garden this year, the tomatoes are almost all dead. The cucumber plants have died. The peppers are dying. I told you a few weeks ago that the garlic and the shallots and the leeks all got rust and they all died. Well, the other shallots at the other end of the garden are all dying off. The potatoes are just not growing. We've had about 3 strawberries because the pigeons keep eating the strawberries. The blackbirds have worked out how to get the raspberries. And there's hardly any raspberries on there. So the only thing that's growing in our vegetable garden today, or right now, is gooseberries. And we got 10 pounds of gooseberries, about 4.5, 5 kilos, for those of you metric, off our gooseberry bushes this weekend. But needless to say, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, I've got like little scabs all over my hands because the gooseberries did not wish to give up their gooseberries very easily. They're really sharp, stabby. But it is very good. So we've been eating gooseberry fool, and I've frozen some, and then we took little care packages around to our neighbours. So we've got amazing neighbours. So yeah, so Brian delivered a couple of pounds each, or £1 each, to all the neighbours, which was really good. Hi Tina, lovely to see you. Joanne's got here as well. Deborah's saying her romaine lettuce is growing like crazy, but tomato plants look like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Yeah, mine do too. They're just It's the compost, I'm sure, but that doesn't explain why everything else in the garden isn't growing. But then the weather's been so dry. We've been crazy busy, so we haven't done as much watering. So it's probably just a lack of care, to be fair. So I shouldn't actually berate the garden for not growing because I haven't tended it as much as we need to. You need to look up gooseberries, Jenny. Yeah, so they are awesome. Gooseberries are amazing. Little green berries, really sour. Although ours are a cooking variety that the longer you leave them on the bushes, the sweeter they get. So you could eat them raw if you wanted to. They were kind of sweet enough. They still make you go, but actually they're yummy. Yeah, they look like grapes. Yeah. I don't know. Iceberg lettuce are selling in Australia for $12 each. Blimey. You see, and I think that's the other thing, isn't it, as well? Food prices are just going crazy. So I am a little bit miffed because normally this time of year we're overrun with cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes and we're delivering it all to the neighbours. But not this year. Not this year. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the new things. And then we'll do a little bit of crafting. So let's move that. And let's see. Okay, see my coffee now. Right. Let's have a look. Deborah's saying the deer get to everything in her garden. Roz's gooseberries aren't doing very much. Yeah, Roz, we had to spray ours, and we hate spraying anything really. We try and do pretty much everything as pesticide free as we can, but there's some kind of caterpillar that eats all the leaves. So yeah, we had to spray ours. Jenny doesn't like cranberry juice. Yeah, I love sour things, but then like lemon is one of my favorite flavors of stuff. If you're going to ask me what dessert do I want and there's a lemon choice, it will always be lemon, even over chocolate. That's a bit crazy, isn't it? Okay, so this is very cool. It is called the Embossing Additions Toolkit. And this is why it is cool. We have not had this in Europe ever. So, obviously it comes in a little bag. Now, this is called a powder pal. And when you use your embossing powder, you dust off the extra into this tray and you unscrew this and you tip it like a funnel. Can you see the hole? Into your little pot of embossing powder. It is so awesome. Now, when I've done heat embossing with you guys before, I've shown you that I keep all of my embossing powders in great big Tupperware type containers, plastic containers. But I know I'm really fortunate that I have space in my cupboards for those, but not everybody does. And this will mean that you can just tip everything away. Now, this is something that we used to have And then Stampin' Up took it out of the catalogue, but it's back in this kit. This is called an embossing buddy, and it's got like a talcum powder in. So if I've got a bit of black card here. If I tap on it, can you see the white powder? So what this actually does is you rub it over your card before you heat emboss. And it basically is an anti-static bag, and it stops the embossing powder going everywhere. Then there is this very cool brush. Now this is so soft. This is really soft and really flexible. You can kind of see that. But it's quite stiff. So if you've got bits of embossing powder kind of, you know, dotted around where they shouldn't be, you can use this for that. And then we've never had tweezers, but these are what I call reverse tweezers. There's probably a technical term for them. I don't know what it is, but you squeeze here and the tweezers, they're so strong. Look, my finger's going white. So you squeeze it and close. So for all those times when you burn your fingers, you can use these tweezers. I don't know, does it actually have a, no, it just calls them crafting tweezers. But these tips are ceramic. They look like they're plastic, but they're ceramic. So they will get hot. So when you're using them, look with the curved edges, when you're using with your heat tool, just be careful because they will get hot. Yeah. Okay. So isn't that cool? So I am just a little bit excited. I will tell you how much it is. So if you've got a crafting friend, it's £26. If you've got a crafting friend, this would make an awesome Christmas present. And I know we're not talking about Christmas, are we? But yeah, this is awesome. But, you know, for your normal crafting, this is amazing. So I'm actually going to leave the tweezers out because I need them in a minute. So the next thing I am going to show you is Pearlized Enamel Effects Basics. That's a mouthful. Which is this. It is on page 59. And this is how it comes. And you've got 3 different colours. I'm just going to put them on here to show you. So you've got real red, black, and white. And they're an ounce or 29.5 mil. And if I just show you, I'm just going to do like a little squiggle. So it holds its shape, but you can also do dots. Now, I'm just going to do some bigger dots as well. Now, one thing to know, when you do the dots, you will, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this, but it kind of goes up. Let me just move that catalogue out of the way. It kind of goes up to a little point. So if you just tap a little bit, it will sort of even itself out a little bit. So that's the red. That's the black, but I would say it's more a silver. And then the white is a pearly white. And they're all pearlized. So there you go, look, how cool are they? Right, so I'm just tapping them down a bit, just so that they go rounded. So I'm just going to put them to one side. They might be dry by the time we finish chatting. I don't know. So let's see. Yeah, so there was a question about the tweezers. They don't have a grip or teeth on them. They are smooth, but very, very strong. Okay, so that's a set of 3. And I don't even know how much they are. I will tell you. £14. So they'll work great for flower middles and for accents and for snow and all sorts of things. And then there is this. This is one of the things I am most excited about. For those of you that are coming on the Christmas retreat, which is the 15th of October, and I've already got lots of bookings, so you don't want to miss out. Get yourself booked on. You will be getting some of this. It is so cool. You'll be getting obviously a whole bottle because I can't decant it. So you will need a heat gun, but I will explain all of that. But I'm going to show you how this works. It is so cool. So that's why I've got a piece of black card. So it does say on the instructions, shake well before using. Right. So I'm going to wipe that away because I hadn't shaken it. So I am going to just do a little bit of wiggly wiggly. And then, ooh. There we go. And a few dots. Yes, Margaret, the pearl drops do set hard. Okay, so got my heat gun. It's going to get a little bit noisy. So if you've got me on, if you've got me on loud, turn me down. I'm going to use my new tweezers. When you're heating this, don't get too close to it. You'll end up with like toasted marshmallow color. Yeah, you want to be near enough so it actually puffs up, but not so near that you toast it like a marshmallow. Valerie said she learned a cool trick from her upline last night to keep the puff paint from smashing down. Okay, Valerie, tell us what it is before I start heating, in case I don't know this trick. I'll just have a slurp of my coffee whilst you're typing. No, Valerie, we don't want toasted marshmallows. Oh, it's one of my favorite. Yeah, that's another favorite dessert. So I tend to only use setting 2 on my heat gun. Karen. Okay, so I'm going to just get on with it. So let's see. I'm going to bring it up quite close so that you can see. It does take a little bit of time. You have to be patient. And the thinner your squiggles, the faster it will go. Can you see it's beginning to go now? Right, I'm just going to show you this before I do these ones. Can you see? It's really poofy. There we go. Look at that. Look, they are honestly, they are so poofy. It's just really cool. It's a really cool effect. Now, it's when you touch it, you can feel it. It feels soft. It doesn't feel hard. You can, if you press down hard on it, you can squash it. But it just stays, and it's just so cool. Andriana's saying, is it glittery? No, it's not. It's matte. It's a matte color, matte gray, matte white, should I say? But you can. So Valerie was saying her trick that her team leader shared with her was to put clear embossing powder on it, which you can do, and you can also put glitter on it as well. You can just play around with it, but the trick is shake it, shake it, shake it, and only put a small amount on. So if you can see here where I put a great big dollop on, it hasn't puffed up as much. It's much better when it's a thinner layer. Yeah, it looks like snow, Margaret, and that's one of the reasons why it's in the Christmas retreat. So excited about this. It's one of my favorite. Puff paint is one of my favorite crafting things. So I'm really thrilled that we've got it back. Roz is saying that she loves puff paint as well. Yeah, so you will want to know how much this is. It is £4.25. Like I said, you all need some. But if you're coming on the Christmas retreat, you're going to get some anyway. So that's very exciting. Okay, so let's see what else I have to show you today. So it's a set of dies. So no stamps. Well, yeah, Yeah, no stamps. Haha, because, yeah, no stamps. Because I haven't brought any stamps upstairs. But, yeah, we're not having any stamps today. We're just doing die cutting. So let me show you. Okay, so it is this set. It's called a cracker and a treat box. It's £34. It's in the annual catalogue. Let me show you. These are some of the things that Stampin' Up have made with them. Now, obviously, it's a cracker. And traditionally, crackers are used at Christmas. But I was thinking that these would work fabulously for Kimberly's UK celebration and having little treats inside and name places. So just because it's kind of a traditional cracker shape doesn't mean to say that you can't use it for something else. And in fact, I'm not using anything Christmassy today. I am using this paper, which is free in Celebration. So Celebration's running now, July and August. So I need to say this. I've started putting a disclaimer on my videos. Depends on when you're watching this as to whether or not the information that I'm sharing is current or not. Obviously, if you're watching this 6 months from now, these particular freebies will be gone. But yeah, it's just the nature of limited time offers. But this is running at the moment. For a £45 spend or a €60 spend, you can pick free things. And I am using this one, which is the Silver and Gold, Silver and Gold Designer Series paper. Those of you coming on the retreat will be getting some of this too. You know, you need to come on my retreat. So there's 2 different patterns, which are dots and stripes. And you get it in the silver version and the gold version. I don't know how many sheets you get in a pack, actually. I will tell you, 24 sheets. So you'll get 6 and 6 and 6, and then 6 of the gold spots. So let me show you the dies. So this is the cracker die, and I know you will want to know how big it is. So if you are an inches person, the inside of the cracker is 2.5 inches, and each side is 3/4 of an inch. The finished length will be about 5.5 inches. And then if you're a centimeters person, it is just under 6.5 centimeters. Each section is about 2 centimeters, and it'll be about 14 centimeters long when it's finished. So you've got the cracker, which I've cut this out to show you. This is what it looks like when it's cut out. Now, there are loads and loads of score lines. So you've got score lines on each of the panels. You've got score lines here. You've got score lines here as well, along each panel. So it's really lovely. And it fits on a 6x6. So when I was cutting them out, it fits perfectly on your 6x6. And so it will run through most die cutting machines. Don't throw these away. How cool is this? Look. You can make like an argyle pattern. How cool is this? So if you're making lots of them, you could make so many cards, just matching all these little diamond shapes together. Show you. Doesn't that look cool? Anyway, it cuts it cuts out this piece, and then you know I love value. Well, this is the super cool thing, because you've got 5 sentiment banner sentiments. This one's got stitching around it and the others are plain. Ew. We just grab them here because they're kind of buried. And these are a great size for sentiments to go on your cards. So what I always do when I have dies like this is I cut about a piece of card, and then I go and grab my stamp sets and I work out which sentiments would work with them. So this happy birthday from Waves of Inspiration fits in that one. Well, it'll probably fit in all of them, actually. Yeah, look at that. It's perfect. Perfect size. So this makes me really happy. So what I will do then is I will write on this template the names of the stamp sets that these will work with. And then when I'm crafting and I want a sentiment banner, something like this, then I can easily grab the right stamps that will work with it. And you also have these 2 cute little die sets. So you've got hearts and stars, and they're designed to kind of pop in there in the panels as like peekaboo windows. So you could cut them out and then layer another piece of patterned paper underneath, or cardstock underneath, or a bit of acetate or window sheet. That would work really well. But also, you can never have too many hearts and stars. And then you've got these 2 little tags as well. And again, these are just such a cute size. They work really well as well. So let me just pop those away. Back in their plastic wallet, and pop that in there as well. And then I know I've got my template for when I make my list. Ooh. Let's pop that out. Oops. That was my embossing stuff all on the floor. Okay, so I have cut out, in best Blue Peter style, a cracker, and I've actually got 2. I'm going to show you, but first up, so I'll show you how this assembles first. Now, if you are using patterned paper of any sort, quite often you'll find that the paper has got a white core running through it. And if you crease it really hard, the paper will crack. And it's lots of papers. It's not sort of just down to one or other type of paper. It just happens. So the trick is always to have the right side facing you when you're doing your first lot of scoring and reinforcing. So I've got my bone folder, and I'm just going to squash down the score lines And I'm just pressing down gently. So I'm not pressing really hard. This is paper. I don't want to tear it or crack it. But by folding it towards itself, if it's going to crack, it will crack on this side. So I'm going to fold along here. And the little triangles. And this little frill on the edge. So it is really important to do all of that. And then the same on this side. And the last little bit. Okay, so now you've folded it all on one way, you can just then bend it the right way round. And then it will just hold its shape. So in order to assemble it, you're going to put glue on one of these edges and you're going to stick that on top. Now you can use whatever glue you want. Tape works really well. You know that I love my Tombow glue, and that is what I am going to use. And I'm putting it on all of the panels. Now, if you're using tape, this bit is a little bit more tricky because you're going to have to kind of get tape onto the triangle bits. And then the way to line it up is I start off by lining up the frinkly bits or the scalloped edges. Then I move on to the triangles. So they're lined up. And then by the time you get to the center panel, it's all lined up. And then all you're going to do is push these triangles in. And that is going to make your first bit of your cracker. And that's going to make your second bit of your cracker. I'm just going to tie that up. I'm going to use some of this. This is soft sea foam seam binding. Ooh. So give it a little crossover, and you can tie it fairly tightly. You can do a bow or a knot, whichever you prefer. And then just kind of zhuzh up your bow. Cut it at a jaunty angle, ooh, or not. Isn't that look cute? And then obviously, if you are filling it, you would need to fill it at this point, but for demonstration purposes, I'm not filling mine. How many chocolates do you think it would hold? Says Tina. Not enough, because there's never enough chocolate. But I don't know, actually. Suppose it depends what they are, but you'd probably get 3, I would think, sort of wrapped chocolates inside. Certainly things like a lip balm would work really well in there. If I put it next to the Tombow, that kind of gives you an indication of the size. but it's just really, it's really sturdy. And like I said, you know, by putting a name on it, it would work really well. So then one of the other things that, let me just leave that just there, look, so you can see that. With this paper, one of the awesome things about this paper is you can colour it. Now you can colour it with blend markers or inks or whatever, marker pens. But I've just got all of my blues and greens of my blending brushes. And I don't know how much ink there is on any of them, but I just thought I would kind of clean them off on this piece of paper. And basically the foil resists the colour. Oh, there's not very much. I've obviously been using these and not leaving much ink on them. I do have one that I prepared earlier actually, so it won't matter too much. Yeah, you can just about see hardly anything on these. Oh, hang on, that's a bit better. There we go. We'll go over the whole thing with this one. So this one's making a bit of a difference. There we go. So can you see it's giving you, so the shininess is still there, but it's giving you a hint of colour. So you can see it compared to the white. It works really well. So what I did do was I used my pinks and my oranges to make sort of an ombre colour. So I'll just make this one very quickly. And the thing is, this is definitely the sort of thing that you can do in front of the telly. And, you know, when we start actually talking about Christmas, wouldn't this be a really cool table favour? You know, I make crackers every year, different sorts, and you'll find on my YouTube channel, I've got several crackers that I've made over the years. But actually, in the crazy world that we are in currently, the crazy season of life, then maybe having a die doing all the work for me without having to measure and everything else is probably a really good plan. All right, so just going to bend this the right way round, get the glue on. So I think from taking your die cut piece, folding it and gluing it, it's only a couple of minutes at the most. And then it's going to be a couple of minutes to sort out the ribbon. So they are pretty quick. Just make sure that you've got glue nicely along those edges. And then just pop that all in and that one in. And I have got here this lovely metallic woven ribbon. This is Sweet Sorbet. I just thought it worked really well with the pink tones. So obviously on this one, I've used quite a chunky ribbon, but you could use baker's twine or linen thread. Use poofy ribbon or skinny ribbon like this one. combo on my fingers now. So it is sticking to everything. But it just works really well. Pull that a little bit. And there we go. Now, obviously, this is going to work with cardstock. It's going to work with patterned paper. But it's such a lovely die set. There we go. Margaret saying this is ideal for making lots. Yes, it is. Now, you will be able to extend it as well. So let me just show you. So if when you die cut, if you just die cut to there, you fold that down. So if you die cut to there and then die cut a second piece, and you'll be able to extend it by this much. So it'll be a longer cracker. Does that make sense? Obviously, you'll have a glue line, so you're going to have to disguise that with some ribbon or something like that. But it just works really, really well. And it's a nice size as well. It's not huge. And of course, that means it will go through our die cutting machine as well. Karen saying be great for a baby shower. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really lovely. Okay, so let me just bring in the pearl stuff. Yeah, that bit's not dry. Yeah, it's not quite dry yet. I will leave this on my desk for next time I'm live so that you can see them again. But you can kind of see the dimension there, look. I mean, you can get lots and lots of dimension with these pearls, which is really pretty. But this is definitely more gunmetal than black. It's like basic grey. So there you go. Okay, so that is everything for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I will be back live in 2 weeks on the 19th, but do pop back here on YouTube or my blog or my Facebook page at 2 o'clock next Tuesday, which will be the 12th. Yeah, the 12th at 2 o'clock, because I have some new creative inspiration for you then. It's very exciting. I hope that you love it as much as I do. So that will be coming up at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Booking is open for my classes and my Christmas retreats. So pop over to www.inspiringinkin.com. There you'll see classes and events, and you can click on those and you can attend most of my classes and events from anywhere in the world. So if they're an online class or event, I can't send you products, but you can craft with us. You can join online and you get the online class and the PDFs as well. Everything that you've seen today can be purchased in my online store. And if you go to inspiringinkin.com, you'll be able to click the links from there. Okay, so let's just see if there are any more comments before I go. Thank you so much. Lots of wishing me well for my adventuring over the next few weeks. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Maureen and Michelle and Donna and Anne and Jackie and Ros and Margaret. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time. Thank you, Tina. Taking the time and hanging out with me today. So I will see you all again very soon. Take care. Goodbye.